Champions Cup final is done and dusted. Saracens are the champions for the 2018-2019 season. Third title for them, 20 points to 10 victory over Leinster, over in Newcastle. A real battle this game was. I'll go over some of the stats towards the end because some of them are pretty phenomenal. But in the billing, they were talking about it being almost like a test match, and there were elements of that in this one for sure. It was, like I said, I think battle is probably the best word because it's going to be some sore bodies after this one. A few guys perhaps with injury worries as well, but I guess that'll be for the days in the future rather than for now. In terms of the game itself, the lead only changed one time. It went from Leinster being in front to Saracens, and that was it. So Leinster got the play underway early with a penalty to Sexton. And it was a frantic opening, 10, 20 minutes. It was just guys getting up off the ground quickly, running into tacklers who were getting up off the ground quickly. And they just didn't slow down. It was just crash, crash, crash. And, it was 4 a.m. here, so I wasn't sure if I was just a bit bleary-eyed or if that's what I was seeing. But the stats seem to kind of back that up as well. And the defenses were mostly getting the upper hand on both sides because there were turnovers, there were knock-ons, guys under pressure, making mistakes, and guys on defense making big plays. So there was no more scoring until Furlong's try, which wasn't until about half an hour. It was interesting when I was watching anyway because I had an Irish commentary feed on the audio. And they were openly not trying to be neutral. They were clearly Leinster fans, and they were pretty entertaining for a neutral like me. At one point, when Lama was running and dodging people, they were talking about him dancing like Michael Flattery, the river dance guy. That's him, isn't it? Yeah, it had me chuckling. I could use chuckles at that time of the morning, but in terms of the game, Saracens spent a fair bit of time in Leinster's half. Weren't able to score. Like I said, that defence was just on top. And then when it went back the other way, Carney got a line break. He went kind of relatively close to that Saracens line. And, they set up a few more phases. TMO had a look at Healy getting the ball down, but he wasn't able to judge that he'd actually got it down on the chalk. But then after that, Itoje got yellow carded for some, kind of slowing the ball down, cynical play in that defence. And while he was in the bin, Saracens also swapped both their props. I understand both of them were injured, it's pretty unfortunate when you're only half an hour into the first half of a game. And then from there, it kind of got from bad to worse for Saracens because Furlong gets a try. Leinster go through a bunch of phases. 1 meter out, Furlong is just too big, too strong. He goes over, and it's 10-0 to Leinster, looking kind of in control of the game. But not long after, Farrell kicks a penalty, and the key point is it's kind of right towards the end of that yellow card period. So Itoje is still in the bin, and he kicks a penalty. So the yellow card period ends up being 7 points to Leinster, 3 points to Saracens, who during a yellow card, you probably take that because I think the average score is about a try during a yellow card. So, yeah, it was 7 points to 3. And then right on half-time, a couple minutes over, Maitland got a try. I think they went 9 phases in Leinster's 22, did Saracens. I didn't think for the world of me that the ball was ever going to leave the forwards, because they were just crashing. Leinster were tackling, and I was like, there's plenty of space out there, but I don't think they're going to risk spinning it wide, and they spun it wide. Sure enough, Maitland got the try, and they kicked the conversion, so that squared things up right as they went into the shed, so 10-all. There was talk in the commentary team, I'll have to go back and watch it, as to whether Leinster could have kicked the ball out, because they had possession right as we were kind of ticking over to half-time, and then from kicking it back to Saracens eventually went up the field and scored. So, there was a bit of talk as to whether Leinster could have at that point just kicked it out and gone into the sheds with a 7-point lead. Second half, Ray got a big line break after about 50 minutes, and Sarries were on attack. Itoje went close. The TMO had a look at the base of the post for a potential Saracens try, but it was ruled as no try, and then there was a yellow card for Leinster at that point. Farrell kicks a penalty, makes it 13 points to 10, so for the first time, Saracens go into the lead. And then Maitland crashes into Carney with a high ball. It's ruled as just a penalty, which was probably a pretty sensible one. Leinster go on attack, but then Billy Vunipola gets the first of 2 intercepts that he made during that game. It was a pretty good read from him. He went out in the clear. And then Saracens kind of on attack, get a scrum in Leinster territory. Billy Vunipola, without any deception or trick play, just picks the ball up from the base of the scrum and runs for the try line. You know what he's going to do. He's still doing it, and about 4 guys go for him and cannot stop him. He gets close to the line. It looks like they've stopped him, and then he just puts that big hand out, forces it, and that's the try. That makes it a 10-point lead with, 10 minutes to go, and it's looking like game over at that point. So that yellow card period for Leinster, I guess, is key because they conceded 10 points. So most of these points in this game were scored when somebody was off the pitch. The game kind of at that point is Leinster in their own half, trying to run it out and not able to get it done. As I said, Billy Vunipola got another intercept. They needed to go length of the field, and they weren't able to get it done. So yeah, congratulations to Saracens, man. Big victory. Key moments. There was only small margins in this game, but it proved to be enough. In terms of the stats, like I was talking about, Leinster actually had more possession, 56%. Territory was 50-50 over the course of the 80 minutes. Saracens had more run meters, 407 to 365. But a key one for me was the tackling. Both sides were tackling well, 86% to Leinster, 85% for Saracens. But just the sheer number. Leinster made 159 tackles. Saracens made 191. So, man, was defense the order of the day. 159 tackles or even 191, either way around. Sometimes that's more than a combined Super Rugby match, and that's just for one team. I know I shouldn't compare it to Super Rugby because that's kind of why I guess this game gets compared to being more like a test match, because it is just that up intensity and both sides. In terms of their focus, were really there. Key players, I think Barrett got man of the match, and you can see why, because Conan was the top tackler for Leinster with 22, but Barrett for Saracens made 28 tackles, which for a back is phenomenal. I guess it's kind of what he's known for, being that hard man. And in terms of guys with the ball, the 2 top run meter getters were Carney for Leinster and Billy Vunipola for Saracens with 65 run meters each. So it was a pretty intense game. I don't know how you fans are feeling after this one, but yeah, it was really tense for that kind of last, 10 minutes, half an hour, seeing which way it was going to go. It was slowly edging more and more towards Saracens in that second half. I guess Leinster were kind of ruining, not getting more points during the first half, and the fact that they didn't score any points in the second half is pretty disappointing. But I guess that's a testament to the way Saracens were defending. So yeah, 10 points is, I guess, a little bit comfortable, but not really. It wouldn't have taken much for the game to be right on the knife edge if Leinster had been able to get just one more score towards the end, but yeah, not able to get it done. So yep, congrats to Saracens. Big victory. Over the course of the comp, you have to say, unbeaten. It's pretty well deserved. Leinster not able to add another star to that jersey, but they'll be back, and both these sides have still got their domestic comps to go, so it's not the end of the road for them. I think both in semi-finals coming up. So yep, still plenty more rugby to come. You guys let me know your thoughts on the game. How did you think it went? What do you think were the key moments? Key performers other than the likes of Barrett, Vunipola, Carney, Conan. There were still plenty of other guys who put in good shifts. You guys let me know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.